All right, let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts, who, quite frankly, are a very unique team. So, some years the Colts are like barely even a team to talk about when I do these previews because, like, they pretty much just do what they do. They try and fix their issues through the draft, and then they, will usually not sign any major free agents, maybe a little bit of some of the minor free agents, but very rarely throw money at a big name, and then either decide to keep the guys that I have as free agents or add some free agents. But I do think they're in a bit of an interesting spot this year. If you look at their PFF grades for specific positional categories, there's actually a lot of good grades here. A couple of, first off, one just I don't understand at all. The rushing is graded 30th. I think Jonathan Taylor's really good. I don't get that. Maybe it's the other rushing that's been an issue that brings it down. I don't know. But passing is 26th, and that's just what they have to be better at this year is the quarterback position. And maybe that's Anthony Richardson taking a year 3 leap like we saw with Josh Allen. Maybe that's adding a new player. I don't know. The receiving is 18th and the pass blocking is 10th, so they have some good talent there. 4th best run blocking, 3rd best run defense, and then the rest of the defense is still pretty good. 12th coverage and 19th pass rush. Quite frankly, this is a playoff tier supporting cast. The quarterback question is going to be the question that the Colts have to answer. And again, they're going to have to just ask themselves, do we think Richardson can get better? Because he wasn't good enough last year. Can he get good enough to get us into the playoffs? And obviously, he has a higher ceiling than a Joe Flacco does, right? Do you consider as well, you maybe will go out and add a Marcus Mariota, give him some money and let him kind of be the backup, but if he's clearly the better player once the season starts, okay, it's year 3, if you're not better than the backup as a young quarterback, well then you're gonna be the backup, essentially. That might be something that I would consider at least is, because again, I think with Marcus Mariota, this team could compete for the playoffs. Is that the goal? Well, that can be a question that you can ask, but ultimately, that's kind of how I view this. For upcoming free agents, I'll be honest, a couple of these, I'm surprised Deo Anegabo is supposed to be getting $16 million. That's the number next to their name, is projections on how much they should get. That feels like a lot. Will Fries and Ryan Kelly, I would like to keep if I'm the Colts. And keep in mind, these aren't every free agent. These are just the notable ones. It'd be nice to keep Julian Blackmon and Mo Alley-Cox as well. But those are kind of those are the players that, really to me, Fries and Kelly are the ones I want to keep. You look at their cap space available, they have cap space this year, and if they need to kick the can down the road at all, they can with $112 million projected for 2026, so they easily could re-sign everybody on that list if they wanted to. I know the 28 isn't quite as high as what all those other numbers would create, but again, you can kick the can down the road if you want. So again, with the Colts, the cap space and the free agent stuff and what do you do there isn't really that deep of a conversation because they don't really sign a ton of free agents. That could always change. The Bengals used to never sign free agents, and then they signed Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson, so things change, but I'm not expecting them to sign a ton of free agents. I'm not expecting a major trade, although they will trade sometimes. Interestingly enough, they, as of right now, have 7 draft picks in the upcoming draft. They're all their picks. They've made no moves. I believe they're the only team right now that currently has possession of all of their picks and no other picks, which is interesting enough. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where they're at. Really, with the Colts, it's a simple video, really, because what else is there to talk about? I mean, again, they'll try to draft and improve in certain areas for sure. Like, there are pieces that they could improve upon. But for the most part, like, what are they going to do? It comes down to the quarterback position. And you have to, there's really, I guess 3 options you could go with. One is you could just say, you know what, let's give Anthony Richardson a shot. And that could be just saying, nope, he's our guy again. We're not even going to focus that much on the backup position. Or you could say, let's add Marcus Mariota. The other option is, well, I said the Colts don't love going out and signing someone free agency-wise. Maybe the quarterback position is an exception to that rule. Maybe they go out and get a Sam Darnold. And we have seen them go out and get quarterbacks in the past. Philip Rivers comes to mind. So, like, maybe they go out and get a Sam Darnold and say, hey, we think we can make the playoffs and be a competitive team if we give Sam Darnold a big chunk of change. Even Russell Wilson, who I know probably won't be quite as exciting for Colts fans, but that is an option on the table as well. The third option is they can draft a quarterback. Now, they're picking at 14, so maybe Shedeur Sanders falls and you can trade up to get him or something. Or maybe you just get a guy later on in the draft, and if you get a guy later on in the draft, you could still let Richardson kind of start the year as a starter, and if it goes wrong, change things that way. What would I do? It's so tough, because if you're getting Sam Darnold, I do think that could make them a playoff team, but are you also kind of just Atlanta Falconsing yourself, where you're making yourself slightly better, but still putting a ceiling on your team? Now, they drafted Penix as well. They did a lot of stuff. They're not a perfect example, but are you is that what you're doing if you go out and add a Sam Darnold? Possibly. I think I probably keep Richardson, and I probably just add a Marcus Mariota or someone like that, someone you trust as a backup who can just be a consistently, quality backup, player who, if he has to come in, can be effective. Again, they tried with that with Joe Flacco. Turned out Flacco kind of just got washed up. It is what it is. But I do think this team makes the playoffs with decent quarterback play. And maybe you get that from Richardson, maybe you don't. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.